So children, welcome back to the online class. Today I am going to teach literature to the students of standard 8. In my previous video, I had told you about the author of the chapter The Enchanted Pool, C. Rajagopalachari, and in brief, in a summary way, I told you the whole story. So today we'll go line by line and see what the author has to say in detail. Let's read a story from the Mahabharata that reflects the wisdom of Yudhishthira. So this whole story reflects the wisdom of Yudhishthira. The stipulated period of 12 years, that means the time set, that was the time period of exile, that was of 12 years, was drawing to a close. One day, a deer was rubbing itself against a sage's fire kindling motor. Now, who is a sage? A wise or a learned man. Okay. So, they saw a deer. A deer was rubbing itself against a sage's fire kindling motor. So, what is fire kindling motor? It is a fuel wood. So in those days they did not have matchboxes and all. So they used to rub it and then light the wood to cook food. And as it turned to go, the motor got entangled in its horns and the frightened animal, that means the deer, fled wildly with it into the forest. In those days, matches were unknown and fire was kindled with pieces of wood by mechanical friction. So the deer ran away with the fire kindling motor attached in his body. Alas, the deer is running away with my fire kindler, shouted the sage, and rushed towards the Pandavas for help in his distress. So in distress means extreme worry. So he was very much worried that the deer ran away with my fire kindler. Now please save me. Try to get my fire kindler back. The Pandavas pursued the animal. That means they ran after the animal, but it was a magic deer which sped in great leaps and bounds, decoying the Pandavas. That means misleading. The Pandavas ran behind the deer, but then it misled the Pandavas, and in long leaps it went inside the forest. Pandavas far into the forest, and then it disappeared. Worn out by the futile chase. Worn out means they became very much tired. With the futile chase means they did not get anything. They did not get the result. It was pointless to chase him. So the Pandavas sat in great dejection. That means they became very sad. They were dejected, they were very sad, and they sat there quite dejected under a banyan tree. Nakula sighed, "We cannot render even this trifling surface to the sage. How we have degenerated," he said sadly. So they became very sad, and Nakula, one of the Pandava, he said that how we have become, that a small thing we cannot do here. We cannot bring back that fire kindler. Yudhishthira noticed with sorrow that the brothers had lost their cheerfulness and courage. He thought they would be more cheerful with something to do. He was tormented with thirst, and so he said to Nakula, "Brother, climb the tree and see whether there is any pool or river nearby." Nakula climbed the tree, looked around and said, "At a little distance I see water plants and cranes. There must certainly be some water." Yudhishthira sent him to fetch some water to drink. So in this paragraph, you see when Nakula was very sad that they could not do a small thing, Yudhishthira saw that his brothers were very sad. So to make them cheerful, he thought to tell them to do something. He said that he was very thirsty. So please climb the tree and see that if there is water nearby, you bring some water for me. And Yudhishthira sent him to fetch some water to drink. Now Nakula was glad. He was happy when he got to the place and saw there was a pool. So when they climbed the tree, they saw that some water plants and cranes were there. So he thought that there will be some water surely. So he went there and he saw a pool. He was very thirsty himself, and so thought of quenching his thirst first before taking water in his quiver. Quiver is a case to keep the arrows. Okay, so he thought that first I will quench my thirst, because he was very thirsty, and then I will carry some water, in this case for my brother, for his brother. But no sooner did he dip his hand in the transparent water than he heard a voice which said, "Do not be rash. This pool belongs to me. O son of Madri, answer my questions and then drink the water." Nakula was surprised, but carried away by his intense thirst and heedless of the warning, he drank the water. At once, overcome by a great drowsiness, he fell down, to all appearance dead. So, when he was going to get water from the pond, a voice was heard, and the voice said that, "Wait, before drinking water, you answer my question." But Nakula, he was surprised, but then he was so much carried away by his thirst. He was very thirsty, so he drank water. So as soon he drank the water, he fell down and became unconscious. Surprised that Nakula had not returned, Yudhishthira sent now Sahadeva. Now the next Pandava, Sahadeva, was sent to see what the matter was. When Sahadeva reached the pool and saw his brother lying on the ground, he wondered whether any harm had come to him. But before looking into the matter further, rushed irresistibly to the water to quench his burning thirst. So now, when Sahadeva went there, he reached there and saw that his brother was lying on the ground, and he thought that who has harmed him, I will see and all. Before that, he was so thirsty that he wanted to quench his thirst. And then the voice was heard again, "O Sahadeva, this is my pool. Answer my questions, and only then may you quench your thirst." Like Nakula, Sahadeva also did not heed the warning. He drank the water and at once dropped down. Puzzled, and so here what happened again, same thing happened to Sahadeva also. He also did not pay heed to the voice to answer the questions, and he also drank water because he was very thirsty, and then he also became unconscious and fell down. That puzzled and worried that Sahadeva also did not return, Yudhishthira sent Arjuna to see whether the brothers had met with any danger and bring water. He added, for he was very thirsty. So, after that, Yudhishthira sent Arjuna that go and see that why they have not returned, because I am very thirsty. Arjuna went swiftly. He saw both his brothers lying dead near the pool. He was shocked at the sight and felt that they must have been killed by some lurking foe. So, when he saw that his brothers are they're lying down unconscious, they are dead, he became very angry that some enemy must be there who have killed them. Though heartbroken with grief and burning with the desire for revenge. So he was very sad, his heart was totally broken. He wanted to take revenge from the enemy who had done this. All feelings is submerged in a monstrous thirst, but he was so thirsty that he could not understand anything, and he thought to quench his thirst first, which irresistibly impelled him to the fatal pool. Now again he also went there. Again a voice was heard, "Answer my question before you drink the water. This pool is mine. If you disobey me, you follow your brothers." So again the same voice came, again the same question, that if you disobey me, if you don't answer my question and drink water, then you will also be like your brothers who are lying down here dead. Arjuna's anger knew no bounds. So he was more angry. He cried, "Who are you? Come and stand up to me and I will destroy you." And he shot keen-edged arrows in the direction of the voice. So he shouted, "Who are you?" And then he shot arrows from the direction from where the voice was coming. The invisible being laughed in scorn, but that was invisible. The voice was only heard. It laughed, "Your arrows do but wound the air. Answer my questions and then you can satisfy your thirst. If you drink the water, without doing so, you will die." Against the voice said the same thing, that nothing you can do with these arrows to me. You cannot harm me. You have only wound the air. If you don't answer my question, and if you drink water, then same thing is going to happen to you also. You will also die like your other brothers. So, in this video, we'll do up till here. Then from the next page, I'll continue in my next video.